then you add it until 2025, another 21,000. Diba?
Yes.
So,
yes.
lumalabas more or less mga 1.3 million. Tama? So,
Yes.
so today, 1.3 million ang ISF natin in 1A. Tama?
No, Mr. Chair. Bali, sa 2022, 1 million. And then every year may 7,000
Additional.
po.
Diba? So, 7 times yung until 2025.
So mga 50,000 po ang nadagdag approximately.
50,000.
Opo.
So, 1 million plus 50,000.
Opo.
Tama ba?
20
yata eh.
Sorry, it's 23,000.
23,000. Tama, 23,000. Oh, so, lumalabas nga, isarado na natin, 1.3 by 2025. Diba? 1.3 million. To date, meron tayong mga kababayan na nasa unacceptable housing units na 1.3 million. Tama? Yan ang ating to date. Yan ang
It's
ating
1,071,000.
1,000,000
1,048,000 plus 23,000.
1,071,000.
71,000.
1.01 1.07. Yan ang ating backlog, no, for to date, for 2025. And to date, we have only produced 100,000 to 300,000, diba?
399. Yes.
399. Sabihin na natin 400 para madaling i-compute. For 100,000 a year, so 300,000 ang na-produce natin. So ang backlog pa natin sa ISF lang is 700. Tama?
That's correct, Mr.
Correct.
Chair.
So 700 pa ang kulang natin. Only for ISF. Wala pang growth to. Only for ISF. Okay. So malaki pa yung ating pupunuan. So in order to wipe out the backlog for ISF, we need to produce at least mga mga 200,000 230, mga 240, sabihin na natin, 240 a year, no, to wipe it out. No, yun ang ating target. Only for ISF yan, sinasabi ko lang ISF kasi yan yung nakikita natin ngayon eh. But if you include, of course, yung growth, kasi every year merong bagong pamilya, may mga kinakasal, we're adding close to about mga 108, on the average, 190,000, no? More or less.
Yes, Mr. Chair, that's the 1C portion.
Oh, that's the 1C portion. Okay. So, pag in-add natin yung 1C portion to date, that's mga 200, lalabas mga 1.6, mga 600, mga 1.6, more or less. So, 1.6 million ang kailangan natin to date, 2025. But we're only producing 100,000 a year. So that's, we produce 300,000. So mga 1.3 ang backlog natin. Laki pa.
That's
Secretary.
correct.
Laki pa. Okay. So I just want to settle the magnitude first. So to date, 1.3 ang ating backlog to include growth. And that's why you requested, your original proposal was 221 billion.
That's correct. That's correct.
221 billion. No, 221 billion. And I would assume the 221 billion is really, tama?
229 billion.
229.1.
The proposed budget, Mr. Chair, for 2026 is 229.1.
229 sa notes ko is siguro may konting konting discrepancy, but dito sa akin is 221 eh.
Yeah.
Ano lang,
More or less,
minus,
yeah.
more or less, nandyan tayo. So I guess that 221 is meant to address that 1.3 billion backlog today.
That's correct,
Today.
Mr. Chair.
Oo. So ano ang layo no? Secretary, from 221 or 221, 229 na bigay is 5.5.
Mr. Chair, if you will note, the 229, 197 of the 229, we were proposing for NHA, meaning this is for direct production. Kaya makikita natin, we were really pushing for a higher budget for production to address the backlog.
This is itong 197.
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
197. Okay. And this includes, nakasulat dito sa briefer namin, 404 new projects, including 315 projects targeting 49,000 units. Tama?
NHA GM is here.
Oo. Yung ba yung target is to produce 50,000 units?
Mr. Chair, the 197 units was our proposed. Basically, these projects came from the
197 billion.
The
197 billion worth of projects. Basically, these projects came from the Regional Development Council and were requests from the multiple mga LGUs po.
Okay. So itong 197 galing to sa RDC.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Mas maganda yun. At least bottom up yun eh.
Yes.
Okay. And then how many units can this 197 produce?
155,000.
155,000. Okay. But this is out of purely subsidy, no? Ano siya? Anong klaseng itong 155? Anong modality siya? Is it going to be kasi maraming modality ang housing.
NHA has, will explain, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, this is multiple, but the one to be funded by the GAA is almost 32 billion, which is housing for informal settlers for those living along danger areas. Meron din po yung para sa SE Mandamus and yung mga affected by infra projects. We have IP housing rin po and housing for former rebels.
Ito yung 197 billion.
Yes, which is part of it is the 32 billion and majority of this po is the 155 billion. Ito naman po yung mga request ng mga different LGU which is part of the 4PH program.
Okay, okay. We'll go to the 4PH later on. Pero ang nabigay lang sa inyo is 2.2 eh.
That's right.
2.2 billion. So ang layo from 197 to 2.2.
Basically, Mr. Chair, if I may add, yung 32 billion po was our request, which is part of our Tier 1, which is our own ongoing projects. And the 155 billion is the request from the LGUs, from the RDC.
The request from the LGUs, I would assume, forms part of that yung kinukompute natin kanina, 1.3 million backlog. Yung source nito 1.3 million na backlog to date 2025, anong source ng data niya?
The data was based on the 2020 census population and housing.
Okay.
And then projected from 2020 to 2022, which is the cutoff
Okay.
date.
But is there a way na nabangga to with the request ng LGU? Is there?
We did not do that kasi the PSA data are based on census and then these are requests from the regions.
Kasi mga request ng LGU, iba-iba yan. Minsan may pang empleyado nila, minsan mayroong pang iba-iba, no? May mga informal settlers for sure, 100% ako. Pero meron ring mga ibang LGU, they want to provide housing for their employees, yung iba for the, I think mayroon pang, if I'm not mistaken, for middle low income, mga ganyan. So iba-iba siya. Okay. All right. We'll talk about yung 4PH housing. I think this is the flagship project of DSUD. And kanina narinig ko sa presentation that there were problems with the 4PH. So ano yung mga problema, and then how is this corrected with this new budget? I would assume na correct yan with this new budget, no?
That's correct.
Because kakapasok nilang secretary. So this is
Except
your
for
full year
the-
budget, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair. But again, NHA now is what we did in the 4PH before. We only had one modality, which is vertical. So basically, we expanded the scope of the Pambansang Pabahay para sa Filipino program, or 4PH. This is the flagship project of the national government. Too many modalities. So instead of just having one modality, we included horizontal, rental, then we resumed the presidential proclamation and the community mortgage program. So lahat po ito, including the production of NHA, is now part of what we call the expanded 4PH. So we resolved in adding modalities, we resolved the affordability problem. Kasi as we all know, the most expensive modality is vertical or condominium. So nung binuksan natin yung ibang modalities, this slide will show us na yung income deciles 1 to 10, meron ng available na housing program. So yun yung basic in-address natin sa expanded 4PH. So, with this po, we also improved the financing program through Pag-ibig. So, ina-address natin are two basic things, no? The supply side and the demand side. So, sa demand side muna, let me explain, Mr. Chair, what we did. Nag-introduce ang Pag-ibig ng low-interest programs for the 4PH. So, 3% lang yan instead of the 6.25%. So, makikita natin dito, more or less, na-address natin yung problema sa affordability. Then, on the supply side, ang 4PH kasi, combination to ng private sector and government production. So, yung private sector, sila yung magpuproduce ng vertical and horizontal. These are the condominium and the house and lot or row houses, no? So, ang in-address natin sa supply side is pinagaan natin yung we streamline the process for them to get permits and clearances. So, then, second, ang malaking concern nila is the price ceiling of the socialized housing, which is due for increase this October. We have communicated already with the DepDev regarding this, no? Kasi jointly to, we have to release the joint memorandum circular signed by DSUD and DepDev to increase the price housing ceiling for socialized housing. Ngayon, once na ma-address natin to, we expect private sectors to produce more inventory. On the demand side, as of today, when we open since we opened the online registration of Pag-ibig, ang registered na natin is around 30,000. But ang inventory natin is only about 18,000. So makikita natin na meron demand, ang kulang natin is inventory, which the private sector developers we expect them to produce. Now, yung mga lower income decile natin, pumasok na po yung community mortgage program. So we are ready now to award at least 7,000 titles, no, from October to February. And then after resuming also the presidential proclamation, ready na rin tayo to award 5,000 titles starting October to February. So makikita po natin, substantial po yung increase ng number ng 4PH. As of May, ang actual takeout ng 4PH was only around 1,000 units. Ngayon po, with all the modalities, ang available na po natin is around 30,000. So it's still low, but makikita natin, it started na magkaroon ng traction. No? Yung 4PH, nagta-traction na sa ground.
And